Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Aging and Spirituality podcast. And we are going to talk so much about helping you get to that potential, that unrealized potential that you want to have. I'm Chris Jensen.
I'm Kathy Lee Taylor.
And so today I want to talk about how do you know what's really important to you? You may think you know, but most of us don't. I mean, we talk a lot on this podcast about unrealized potential. And many people are not sure what their potential is or even what they would like it to be. They aren't sure really what fulfillment means to them. I mean, I hear people talking about whether they're fulfilled or not fulfilled, but not really knowing what that means. So stay tuned for some clues on how you can know what's really in your heart and what you want to realize and experience in your life. And I hope this will be helpful. So here's a great way to look at this. What's really important to you, what fulfillment means to you personally, not to what you think it should be, what someone else thinks it should be, but to you personally. Sincerely ask yourself. Now, the way most people do it is they say, if I were going to die tomorrow, what would I want to do at that time? But I'm going to say, let's give it 3 months or 6 months. You know, if I were given 3 months to live or 6 months to live, what would I want to do with that time? I bet it's not all the stuff you're doing right now. It's very
That would
important
be
to think
torture.
about.
That would be more torturous, I think.
Yeah, you got to think deeply about this. You got to contemplate it deeply because I know for sure, for me, it wouldn't be all the mundane things that fill an average day. It's not getting through a list of chores or work projects. If we think we don't have much time, we don't waste it on things like getting anxious or frustrated about problems with our lives, problems with the world, watching TV, being on our phones, being on social media. Uh, Not that all of that doesn't have value, but is that what we really want to do with our time if we've got a little bit left? And I sure think it would not have anything to do with being angry at others for not coming through for us the way we'd like them to. I'm sure that wouldn't be what we would fill our last few months with.
Wow, yeah.
Many years ago, a friend of mine who had been doing yoga for many years, she was passing away with a very sudden brain tumor. And when I went to see her in the hospital, just before she passed, we chatted for a while. And just as I was walking out the door to leave, because they were about to come in and do some procedures, she called me back and she whispered in my ear. She said, "Take time to smell the roses." She said, "My dog was in my rose bushes, messing them up, and I got really angry at him. And right now, I regret that I just didn't smell the roses and love my dog."
No.
And, it's very profound. She wasn't just talking about that incident with her dog. She was talking about life. I mean, I get a shiver right now just thinking about it.
Right.
As I came out thinking, wow, she's right. She is right. So here's the contemplation for us today. If today, 3 months, let's say 3 months, you pick 3 months, 6 months, I'm picking 3 months, was the last day of my life, what would I do what I'm doing right now? Think about that a little bit. Think about what you might do differently. I'm going to give you some suggestions for things, but it's important to think about what you're doing right now. And if it's not what you would do, then start thinking about how you can change that. Because you don't want to get to the end and think, oh, I wish I had, I wish I had.
Yeah.
So here's some suggestions. This is from psychology and from yoga. Cherish your relationships, first of all. One of the most important aspects in life is the relationships we have with others. Take the time to cherish and appreciate your loved ones, family, friends, whoever it is. Reach out to friends and family. Express your love and gratitude. Make amends if you need to, because often that's part of it. These connections are what truly enriches our lives. I watched my 2-year-old grandson a couple of days a week, and my son-in-law showed me this article that said grandparents who watch their grandchildren live longer. And
You're like, "Hey, can I live here?"
so, but I'm sure that's because there's a cherishing of relationships there
Yeah, of course.
with my daughter, with my grandson, with my son-in-law. I mean, there's something of real value I'm contributing to a loving relationship.
That's for
And
sure.
that's not one of the things that I'm doing now that I would choose not to do. I wouldn't change that one. Pursue your passions. Okay. Here's a suggestion. So, what are the things that bring you joy and fulfillment? Do you know? Because a lot of people don't know. Is it a hobby, a creative pursuit, a long-held dream? Make time to pursue them. Don't let fear or doubt. So many people end up in doing a job they don't like for 30 years because they were fearful and doubtful that they could do something that they really wanted to do. Uh, Embrace what makes your heart sing and dive into it wholeheartedly. What did you love doing as a child? That's a great way to find out. If you don't know what that is, what did you like doing then before everyone told you something else was important? Kids start out with all kinds of intuitive knowledges about who they are and what gives others themselves and others joy. Always. But we lose that knowledge out of fear and doubt and just what we think is needed to fit in or to make a living. I loved writing poetry for my grandmother as a kid. I loved singing and playing the piano, neither of which I did very long, nor was I good at them, particularly because I didn't do it very much. And, some of the things that I look at now that have made me so happy is I took singing lessons. And I was the person that everyone said, don't sing, you can't sing. I took singing lessons. It was one of the most freeing things I had done. Kathy actually turned me on to a great teacher who really helped. And I wrote songs. He,
Yeah, you did.
he said, have you ever written poetry? And I said, well, yeah, I did as a kid. And he said, well, how about, write some songs? We'll put them together. And we did. And I wrote a lot of songs with him. And it was so joyful. It just made my heart sing. And I like to play, we play yoga chants. So as a result, I started playing the harmonium, which is simpler than a piano. But nevertheless, I had to work at it.
Sure.
Not that I'm great. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I love it.
Yeah.
That opens a door for me. That's a small example, but those things are important. What if I didn't do that? What if I didn't unlock that? That's something, and right now I'm thinking, you know what, as I'm sharing this, I said, I want to play some chants on my harmonium and sing. That's
I
what I'm
forgot
gonna
about
do.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Brings your
So
heart, makes your heart happy.
it makes my heart happy. It does. Practice gratitude. Uh, Gratitude has the power to transform an outlook on life. It seems simple, and people say, "Oh, there's kind of a joke." I saw some trailer for a movie where the guy was like played up as kind of wishy-washy, goofy stuff, but that's because they hadn't really tried it. You know, um, take a moment to reflect on all the blessings you have, no matter how big or how small. You have maybe a job, a home, an apartment, food, friends, love, activities you enjoy. I'm just throwing things out. Be grateful for everything. Be grateful for absolutely everything. Cultivate a mindset of having gratitude because that brings peace and contentment, even in the face of adversity. And that's the trick. When we are always critiquing or being dissatisfied, it keeps us in out of contentment and our mind turbulent. When we have gratitude, when we have that mindset, everything's uplifting and we get a sense of contentment, and that brings deep peace no matter what's happening. And a week or so ago, Kathy shared about how pain can help us. And you could be grateful for pain too, because you know it's going to help you get healed or grow in some way.
Yep.
So those things are helpful. Forgive yourself and others. If you have very little time to live, this is the time to forgive everybody. Carrying grudges, just,
Yeah.
let's get rid of it. Carrying grudges and holding on to past mistakes that you've done weighs heavily on our hearts.
Yes.
Use this time to forgive. Forgive others for their shortcomings. Forgive yourself for your shortcomings. When you are hard on yourself, that's not a positive thing. People think that's a good thing. It's not. We need to be aware. We need to, fix problems. We make a mistake. We want to correct it. But that doesn't mean we're bashing ourselves on the head, saying, you idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you don't have much time left, it's the time to forgive. I mean, maybe someone did something to you 20 years ago and you're still angry about it. Go
Like,
forgive
add to
them.
that.
Go find, in one of our podcasts, we do a really nice forgiveness practice. Forgive them. Forgive them. It'll change your life right now. Living in the present moment is another thing. We're always living in the past or the future, most of the time. We're thinking about something that happened in the past. We're planning for the future. We're not here right now. You remember the line in the John Lennon song, life is what's happening when you're busy doing other things.
Yeah.
So let's forget about the past or the future. Take this opportunity to practice mindfulness. All mindfulness is living in the present moment. It's paying attention. Appreciate the beauty around you. Savor whatever experiences you're having. Be fully engaged in the here and now. And now this sounds like it might be hard to do, so do it in little increments. But if we're thinking we only got 3 months left, we got to get those increments going. We got to do it.
Fast.
We can't say, I'm going to do it tomorrow, I'm going to do it next month. Got to do it now. So one of the big things I think that makes a difference. I mean, all of these things, the whole point of thinking, if I wasn't here tomorrow or in a few months, is how can I enrich what I'm doing now? Make a difference. Even in your final moments, you have the power to make a positive impact in the world, whether it's through acts of kindness, volunteering, spreading love and compassion. Strive to make a difference in the lives of others. Leave behind a legacy of kindness and generosity. With every act of kindness, you're blessing others. What act of kindness or service to others are you doing? It could be simple. It could be just a friendly greeting to someone who needs it. You could help someone carry a bag of groceries in the store. I mean, whatever it is. But that would be something, if you were going out, you'd want to leave behind a legacy of kindness and generosity.
Yep.
You'd want to be uplifting others. Or what could you do if you had very little time left? You could do some act of kindness. So why not do it today? It will transform your life. The next one is embrace your authentic self. Everybody talks about the authentic self. I'm going to talk about what psychologists mean about that, but I'm going to talk about what yogis mean by that. Be true to who you are. Let go of societal expectations and pressures, and instead celebrate your uniqueness. Honor your values, follow your passions, and live a life that's true to your heart. Now, this is what psychologists talk about, and yogis talk about it too, but it's really very important. When I was a little kid, I felt like I was different than everybody else. And I used to pray at night that I would be like everybody else. And I never was. I never fit in. I never was. And it wasn't until much later as an adult and having done yoga for many years, I realized that I don't want to be like, I'm so glad that I'm different. But,
Thank you, God.
but it takes work to get there, There's societal pressures, there are expectations, and who are you, And when I say that, I mean, just honor whatever it is that's important to you, your passions. Live a life that feels really true to your heart. If you think making sand sculptures, it's a beautiful thing to help others and yourself. Do it. Do it. Don't waste time doing something else. Yoga, when we talk about our true self, we're talking about the presence of higher consciousness within us. I mean, everybody has it. Everybody has the presence of the divine within them. So if you've got a very short period of time, one of the most important things you can do is become open to experiencing that true self and letting it express. We'll do a practice at the end of this podcast to help us meet the true self, but it's so important. There are a lot of things, a lot of meditations you can do, a lot of breathing practices, mindfulness that will help you get in touch with that place inside. That is who you really are. That's the real person. And then finding peace within is the other suggestion as you reflect on the possibility of tomorrow or 3 months being the last day. You want to have inner peace and tranquility. You want to practice self-care, meditation, any activities that bring you a sense of calm. Find solace in the knowledge that you have lived a life true to yourself and you have no regrets. We've all done things wrong. You do what you can to fix them. And right now you're doing everything that you want to do so that you don't have any regrets. The yoga practice of witness consciousness is very helpful. With that, we've done that in another podcast. As we contemplate the idea of tomorrow being our last day, it serves as a really powerful reminder, or 3 months from now, to live each day with intention and purpose. Embrace the beauty of life. We were at this wilderness park with our grandson and looking at the birds and the turtles and looking at it through his eyes was quite beautiful. Cherish those things, pursue your dreams with an unwavering passion. Let go of fear and regret. Focus on a life filled with love, joy, and meaning.
Like that idea.
So there is a technique. It's a very simple yoga technique, and we'll just spend a couple minutes on it. But I share it because I think if you want to get to know that true self, it'll help you with all of these things. You're going to get to a potential that's far greater than you had ever realized you have. And it's pretty simple, but it's very profound. So it involves breathing too. What you do is you're going to just put your awareness here at the base of the nose. Be aware of your breath coming and going, and just be aware of it. I'll tell you what we're going to do first, and then we'll do it for like 2 minutes. So we'll be aware of that breath coming and going. The mind drifts off. Just bring it back to the breath. Then, whenever you inhale, you mentally say show, and when you exhale, say hum. That means consciousness am I. So the idea is getting to that true self. And you don't want to control the breath. You don't want to try and make it come and go. You just watch it, and then just whenever you inhale, show, whenever you exhale, hum. So we're going to do this together. And the first minute, we're just going to watch our breath. And then I'll tell you when we switch to the other one, just so you get a little taste of the feeling. So let's do that now. Just put your awareness right here, base of the nostrils, and just breathe. You can do that. You're alive. And just, just be aware of your breath. That's all. Your mind may drift off. Just bring your attention back to the breath. So I'll time us for a minute. Now we're going to switch. Keep being aware of your breath. Just whenever you inhale, mentally say show. And when you exhale, hum. We'll do this for a minute. Okay, so that's another minute. So that was just 2 minutes, but don't you already feel a little more peaceful and centered? It's a wonderful practice to get that peace, get you more attuned with your authentic true self, and then all of these other things will become easy and natural for you. I'm not saying you have to throw your whole life up in shambles or anything like that. Just what it would really be like if you didn't have much time. What is it that's going to really for you? So have fun with all this. I hope you
Yeah,
enjoy
good
it.
stuff. Thank you. See you next week, everyone.
Bye.